Today, Attorney General Eric Holder said that Syria's civil war has turned the Middle East into a cradle of violent extremism. In a speech to diplomats in Norway, Holder called on European nations to adopt the U.S. anti-terrorism strategy to prevent potential terrorists from traveling to the war zone.
If we wait for our nation's citizens to travel to Syria or to Iraq to become radicalized and to return home, it may be too late to adequately protect our national security.
Holder said dozens of Americans are believed to be fighting in Syria, along with thousands of Europeans. Clarissa Ward spoke with the top intelligence official from the Netherlands, who said this is quickly becoming everyone's problem.
Because, your threat is our threat, and the other way around. Your terrorist is my terrorist. There is no such thing as a Dutch terrorist, so it's your problem. No.
In a rare interview, Rob Bertolet, the head of Dutch intelligence, told us that European agencies are alarmed by the spike in the number of Westerners going to fight jihad in Syria and the risk of them returning home to carry out attacks. The concern is that after the violence of Syria, including witnessing beheadings and other atrocities, Western fighters return home a ticking time bomb in their communities.
And when they come back, be it battle-hardened or traumatized or a combination of those, they might become active as an attacker, as a terrorist. They could become active tomorrow, next week, but it could also take 4 or 5 years.
That makes the job of monitoring the jihadis all the harder. Social media is another problem. It has changed the way they communicate and operate.
They'll fly in a swarm. There's no leader there. There's nobody who has a map and says, we have to go this way.
Yeah.
But amazingly, they all go the same way. That is what we see.
So how much more difficult does that make your job?
Well, if you can single out a leader, then you know where to attack, where to move, where to focus your attention to. If you don't have a leader, if you have a swarm that is self-guiding and self-deciding, it's much harder to focus your attention, your efforts.
Clarissa Ward's joining us from London. Clarissa, Mr. Bertolet just described these jihadis as a swarm. How difficult is it to track them these days?
Well, Scott, following them once they return home is actually a lot tougher than it may sound, particularly in Europe, because, of course, Europeans can move easily and freely through many of the countries in the European Union. And it's worth pointing out as well, Scott, that most European citizens do not need a visa to travel to the U.S. So this risk certainly is not limited to Europe.
Terrific interview, Clarissa. Thanks very much.